Cooking at home can be a rewarding and enjoyable thing, but a lot of the time it's stressed and rushed and you end up sitting down, a bit frantic, thinking you may be better off ordering takeaway. Thing is, that's not a skill issue. The difference between a chaotic kitchen with underwhelming food and a calm, enjoyable cook that creates delicious food is small little habits that start before you even turn on the heat. Get these habits in place and I genuinely think you'll find cooking more enjoyable, less stressful, cleanup will be easier, and your food will benefit in terms of how it tastes and looks. So habit number one is actually before you start cooking. This is the starting point for me. You take your food, especially if it's meat, out of the fridge about half an hour beforehand. This allows the food to come up to room temperature before you're then cooking it. Cooking it straight from cold leads to uneven cooking. The outside will overcook before you get the middle up to temperature. You're just creating way more work for the heat to get through. It makes a difference for things like salmon, chicken, especially steak, anything with a bit of thickness to it, and you've got to penetrate through a lot more meat to get to that center. You want it to be up to room temperature before you start cooking so you get proper, even cooking throughout. Now, habit number two is as simple as it gets. Now, you may already be doing this, but if you're not, this is the easiest one to integrate, and it makes such a big difference to the flow of your cooking. Whenever you're doing any kind of prep, have a scrap bowl to hand. One of the things that can feel chaotic is when there's mess in your space. You can create a lot of it while you're prepping with all kinds of scraps and offcuts, and those peels and trims shouldn't just be left out on your chopping board. Just have a bowl to hand, you can drop everything into it. It ensures you maintain space while you're chopping, and then when it comes to cleaning up, it's an absolute breeze. You just got everything in one bowl. You can throw it out straight in the bin, or if it's useful scraps and offcuts, you can turn it into a stock. But it's all there contained in the bowl, and then you won't find yourself having to try and scrape and shovel up all those bits of food. Remember, clean workspace, clear mind. Now for habit three, we're covering mise en place, which you may well have heard a lot. It's the fancy French way of saying everything in its place, but it is the fundamental to efficient and easy cooking. It's really about getting everything in place in preparation for the cook. And so you get all your ingredients chopped, you get all the amounts measured out, you get all your equipment out, all ready to hand, so that while you're cooking, none of that is taking any bandwidth. None of that is taking any extra time that's drawing you away from your cooking. It's all ready to go, and you can just focus on putting your attention to where it really matters. It's probably a step that will get skipped a lot because it will feel like extra work, it will take extra time, but it's stuff that you've got to do anyway, but it's just so much more effective if you do it all up front. If you started to cook your onions and then you need to go and mince your garlic and you've got to go run around for the garlic press and get all that prepped, all that time, your onions are not being attended to, they're not being stirred, and they're just getting darker by the second. And this is very much what contributes to that feel of stress and frantics while cooking. But if you have everything out and ready to hand, then all you're doing is focusing on the cooking. When it's time to add an ingredient, you are just adding that ingredient. You're not putting in an extra step in between. So what happens is your attention is actually on cooking forward, thinking about the next step, rather than scrambling around, just trying to keep up constantly. And what's great is with habit number one, where you're taking your food out from the fridge half an hour before, you've already got the perfect window to get everything in its place. No amount of prep should take more than half an hour, so you've already got the perfect opportunity to get that already in place. The best tip for mise en place is to get yourself little prep containers, whether it's pans like this, little bowls, anything that you can put your prepped ingredients in, your measured out liquids, then it's all in neat little isolated containers ready for you to use. So now you've got your workspace in order, everything in its place. This next habit is where your cooking can really pick up in quality. Habit number four is probably the one on the list that a lot of people are guilty of. It's costing them texture and color on every cook, but thankfully, very easy to fix. If you get out a frying pan and put in food before it's been properly heated, instead of getting searing, you're just going to get a kind of gentle warming through, and eventually it's going to stick. Classic example of this is chicken. Put the chicken in too early, you're not going to get browning, it's not going to get crispy, you got yourself just a pale, uncrispy bit of chicken. What's so important to do is to give that frying pan a couple of minutes to get up to proper temperature. And what you're going for is what's called the Leidenfrost effect. And what that is you hit the frying pan with a few droplets of water, and the frying pan itself is so much hotter than the temperature of the water that it immediately vaporizes and creates a layer of steam that acts as an insulator and keeps the water droplet just sitting on top rather than sticking to the pan. We're effectively trying to create the same thing with a surface of meat like chicken or steak. What you want is it's hot enough to immediately start creating these little steam layers, and therefore you get non-stick effect essentially, but also you're immediately cooking that surface and creating that crispy, beautiful golden brown layer. Now the same goes for your oven. I've been guilty of it, I'm sure you've done it before, putting food into a cold oven and then turning it on to save time and effort. The thing is, preheating the oven, it plays a big part in, for one, baking, you get proper rises and stuff, but also for meats and roasts, that immediate exposure to a high heat is integral for caramelization, forming a crust, and that golden color. If you're just putting your food in and exposing it to a gentle rise in temperature, you're missing out on all of that. It's why you get in a lot of recipes, and I love this step, setting the oven temperature to a much higher temperature than when you're actually going to be cooking, and then turning it down once you put the food in. It allows that exterior to get that initial high heat and form that crust, and then the lower temperature finishes off the cooking on the inside. Now, habit number 5 seems super obvious, but can actually be really easy to forget. I often catch myself forgetting to do this because I'm just too caught up in the cooking of things. Flavor and seasoning is actually really hard to fix if you only notice it right at the end. And so it's really important to go for the classic tasting while you cook, tasting throughout to allow for proper seasoning. Recipes, they can't account for the exact size of your onion, the saltiness of your stock, or the sweetness of your tomato. So the only real way to know is to taste. It's why recipes tend to say season to taste and things like that, because ultimately it's down to you. Clues in the name, season to taste. The other great benefit of this habit is not only are you ensuring that your dish itself is going to maintain balance and be the right saltiness, sweetness, all that, your palate will actually improve as well. You'll start learning the flavors and you'll notice yourself making adjustments, adding a squeeze of lemon for acidity, things like that. That will all naturally form as you're constantly tasting the ingredients, the foods, the flavors. Now, habit number 6 is one that I really had to teach myself. Putting quality finishing touches on a dish can really make you stand out as a home cook. But when the food is ready, you're hungry and you're trying to move fast. So you focus on getting it plated up and you end up forgetting the garnish. This happened to me so many times that I just left a really nice fresh bit of parsley sitting on the side that I just knew was going to make my dish really pop. But once you're sitting down ready to eat, you're not going to go back up and get it. So what you really want to get in the habit of is before the food is ready, setting out your plate and your garnishes. That way it's already in your eye line, it's already in your reach. So when you're bringing the food onto the plate, it just becomes a natural part of the process of serving up. It's a 10-second thing, but it makes such a big difference. That way you're always going to be garnishing your food, and it will give you a real nice sense of completion behind every dish that you make. Now, this last habit is the one that I think will surprise most people in terms of its impact. No matter what you're making, whether it's a simple weeknight dinner or it's just for yourself, take a moment to place it nicely. Now, I'm not talking about doing any weird smears or tweezers with microgreens, but have a think about the composition, the height, if there's anything you can do creatively while plating. And you'll just notice such a difference in the pride behind your dish and how it comes out. It always makes it feel a bit more impressive, and people will notice that. Especially if it's a simple dish, people will always comment on it because it's just not a level of effort and care that they're expecting at home. It's a small thing, but it creates a really nice moment. They're going to like it more, you're going to like it more. Eating something that looks good just tastes better. So, 7 simple habits. They're not complicated, but they'll make a world of difference to your cooking enjoyment. You'll be calmer, your food will taste better, it will look better on the plate, and your cleanup will be easier. That way, you're setting yourself up to cook rather than trying to play catch up with the cooking the whole way through. And once these things become habit, you won't even be thinking about them, they'll just be how you do things. If any of these habits were new to you, pick just one and try it out. Even one will make a big difference to your cooking. Remember to like and subscribe, Home Chefs. There's plenty more on the channel coming to make home cooking be exactly as it should be. Till then, get cooking.